Good evening. Good evening, Soulmates. Hey, Lisa from Nashville. Let me know how my sound is. Want to make sure it's good for you today. I realized last week what the issue was, so I want to make sure that we're not experiencing that tonight. So, welcome, Lisa from Nashville. Thank you for joining. How are you, beautiful? Let's see, who else do we have? Jenny in Kansas. Hi, Jenny. Tina. Welcome, ladies. Thank you for joining. Still healing. Yes, Lisa. I'm happy to hear that. Grateful to hear that you are still healing, still taking things one day at a time. I thought about you a lot after last week's live because what you said and what you shared really touched me. And I know it touched a lot of people that were on that live or even watching the live later because what you're going through is not an isolated incident. A lot of us are going through that. I myself am experiencing shifts similar to that. But I thought about you and I wanted to open up this live tonight with a reflection. There's a daily journal that I read from each day. And a reflection for today, September 16th, reads: At times I need to feel appreciated. I need strokes, which tell me I did a good job or I'm a good person. Those approvals do not always come when they are most needed. Those are the times when I must appreciate myself. It is hard for me to acknowledge my own worth. But how can anybody else appreciate me if I do not appreciate me? Is it right for me to have pride in myself? Is it right for me to like myself? Not only is it right, it is absolutely necessary. So, something for you to reflect on, and maybe a prayer that you may want to say later on or whenever. Dear God, help me to realize I am truly a special person, not only to others, but to myself. Yes. And always remember that I am better than okay. And take it one day at a time. Yes, absolutely. I know, right? I know I needed to hear that. Every morning I open up my journal. There's a message that always lands, always hits. Spirit doesn't, nothing happens by accident. Hi, Sheila. Hello from sunny Georgia. What part of Georgia are you from? I like Georgia. Thought about relocating down there. But welcome, soulmates. Welcome, everyone. And for those that are new to my live, I'm Keana Shatteen, and I want to welcome you into the space that I curated. This is not just a gathering, but a living container for healing and transformation. Everything that we're going to do here this evening or morning or afternoon, where you are, is part of a larger work of what I considered healing out loud. As you all know, I am rooted in healing and healing out loud and healing together as a collective. Because when we turn old wounds into wisdom, we begin to turn our silence into voice. So if you are here with me today, soulmates, let us just start by grounding into this space. And let's just take a deep breath. Okay, Sheila, Northwest, about 90 miles from above Atlanta. Is that past, what is that town? I don't know why I want to call it Silver Springs. Powder Springs or something like that? Is it further north than that? Maybe I'm thinking south. I might not be familiar. Okay, got it. Thank you. Got that. So I do know what I'm talking about. Okay. Yes. So, like I was saying, soulmates, we are in a very pivotal, very sensitive time in the collective. We're in between eclipses. And I kind of talked about it on my live last week in honor of suicide awareness, World Suicide Prevention Day, I should say. But the energy has only intensified. The next eclipse is going to be on Sunday. It's a partial solar eclipse. And the season that we're in right now is asking us all the same question. Eclipses always ask us the same question. What are you still carrying that your soul has already outgrown? What old roles? What old stories? Or what are some old expectations that were never truly yours? And I know you can feel it, soulmates. I know I'm not the only one in this because you all wouldn't be here if you yourself wasn't experiencing this. That unraveling, how many of you are feeling an unraveling or maybe a restlessness within? Maybe you feel an emotional weight finally calling you to release. And maybe for a while, you thought that you could maybe out manifest your truth, maybe vision board your way out of grief, say all the right things while still ignoring the parts of you that were begging to be felt. But we got to be honest now, soulmates. This eclipse is not being easy on us because what it's asking us to do now is to realize that that is not going to work anymore because the fantasy has expired and we are waking up. We are in a spiritual reckoning, a spiritual, and I don't want to say the word battle because I don't want to frighten anyone, but that's exactly what we're experiencing. Think about all the recent events that just occurred here in the States. People being murdered, broad daylight, simply because they voiced their opinions. There's a deeper shift that we are experiencing right now in this world. And it's time for us to wake up and see that it's time for us to get real and to get honest, to be real about what our habits are, and most importantly, to be real about our healing. Because this is the only way things will start to shift and shift in the right way. It's time for us to be real about our money. It's time for us to be real about our relationships. Most importantly, we got to be real with our voice and ourselves. Hey, Suleiman. Good evening, soulmate. How are you? And hello to all my soulmates on YouTube. So, like I was saying, soulmates, if it's feeling heavy right now, please know you're not broken. Rather, it's a calling from your soul. Because, see, the soul is anchoring itself into truth, into safety, into structures that just not only look good, but they got to be able to hold us. They have to be able to feel good, be able to hold space for us where we don't have to pretend to be somebody that we're not or prove ourselves to anybody or anything. And see, here's the beauty about it, soulmates. The healing is not just a one-time breakthrough. I tell you this repeatedly. It's a rhythm and it's a return. And believe it or not, healing happens in layers. So sometimes you have to revisit old wounds, except once you've done the work, you get to revisit them with the wisdom gained from the prior lessons. And as it unfolds in the levels, because it also has levels to it, there's levels to healing. So you rise step by step into clarity, into strength, into leadership, self worth, no longer abandoning yourself. Hi, Imani. Thank you for joining. So, in this live soulmates, I want us to experience this shift together. I want us to talk about how this energy is helping us unfold those layers and levels of our healing. What this Virgo eclipse is teaching us about those rhythms. And most importantly, what it's teaching us about our own integrity. I'll conclude this live with the soul detox practice to help restore us in our bodies and in our spirits. And before we do dive in deep, soulmates, I do want to say that I do pour my heart into these spaces. I take this work very seriously. I take your time, your energy just as serious. So if at any time you ever feel moved throughout this work, throughout my course, throughout any of my content or anything that I've ever shared, you're always more than welcome to support through donations on here or outside of the platform. They're never expected, but always received with gratitude. And they allow me to continue to hold space for the Healing Out Loud and global community. So let's begin. I want us to go back to the Pisces eclipse, the lunar eclipse that we had on Sunday, September 7th. See, the thing about Pisces, it's a water sign, and to be honest, it's the last of the astrology signs. So the Pisces eclipse the Pisces energy, it feels pretty much all of the zodiac's energy in some shape, or way, or form, right? So this eclipse on the 7th was a gift of emotional honesty. It woke us up. It told us we had to be honest about our emotions. And what did that cost us? Well, a lot of us, the fantasy of what we thought was safe, what we thought was secure, what we thought was real, but it expired. Pisces asked us to stop pretending, stop faking, and just stop floating in illusions. Because sometimes Pisces energy can be kind of dreamy, can be kind of delusional, right? But this eclipse was asking us to face ourselves. It's time now where we have to dissolve any of those stories that we've been trying to use to protect ourselves. So anything that may have felt raw between that time and even now, allow yourself to feel that. Hey, Hannah, how are you doing? Beautiful. So good to see you. So, soulmates, I want to ask, I want to find out if you want to hit the hearts or you want to share in the chat. But I would love to know if any of you have been feeling extra sensitive this week or just this month, maybe tears out of nowhere. What about the dream, soulmates? Have your dreams been feeling so real, very metaphorical? Because my dreams have been out of this world. Maybe you have sudden memories reoccurring. Yes, Tina, the dreaming. That's a part of the spiritual path. I don't know if many people realize the way spirit communicates and connects with us in our dreams, but we do receive a lot of important messages and signs and things in our dreams. And I know my dreams have been, they have been amazing. I've had dreams of deceased family members. I actually had a dream about a cousin who was murdered in 2017. And you hear me talk about him a lot. I even mentioned him in my book. But he actually came to me in my dream and he expressed to me how proud of me he was. And that really meant a lot to me because I guess I know my spirit guides out there, but sometimes you just don't know that they are watching you and they are supporting you, even on the other side. But even in that, I had other types of dreams that were more metaphorical things that it was trying to get me to see on a subconscious level that it's time for me to face, time for me to address. And also, there's time for me to make some pivots and some adjustments. So if you're experiencing that, soulmates, the dreams this month, yes, Jenny, Hannah, okay, see, I know I'm not alone in this. And Lisa, your emotions are allowed to be everywhere. That's what that in between energy feels like. And no, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. The fact that you're experiencing the what I'll call the roller coaster of emotions lets me know that you're right in the path of healing. Hey, T Lady Nat, how are you? Can I just say I'm so happy to see all my soulmates? I miss you guys. So good to see you. But going back to you though, Lisa, continue to allow yourself to listen to your emotions and let them speak to you, but don't allow them to overwhelm you. So let the tears flow. Let whatever needs to come up. Because this eclipse is the spiritual cleanse, especially the one on the 7th, because it did pull up the shadow work and it's requiring you now to face it. So even if we thought we could bypass it, we can't. Without addressing and actually fully embracing the shadow work, we can't move forward and really start feeling, really start elevating into the next level of healing. Because here's the truth, soulmates, you cannot heal what you refuse to feel. I say it time and time again, if you can't even sit with the feeling of it, then how can you be honest enough and address yourself and heal from it? And that's what this energy is calling us to do. I told you in the beginning, 2025 is not going to let up on us. And here we are almost concluding this year, and we are in these phase of eclipses. And yes, it is coming to sit us down and to tell us that we have to feel it in order to heal it. We have to be able to see ourselves in order to be able to free ourselves. So just take a breath right now, soulmates. And if you feel so called to share, I would love to know what truth came up for you during that eclipse. And maybe you're still in the process of integrating it because I know I am. What did it bring up for you? What were you asked to stop pretending, to stop avoiding? And what illusions had to die so that you could finally live honestly? Hey, Ginger, how are you? Oh my gosh, Ginger, how are you, gorgeous? I keep saying this. I'm just so excited to see you guys. Like, I feel like a lot of my soulmates on Inside Timer are really my siblings, like my soul family, because at one point, Inside Timer is what I eat, breathe, live, slept all day, every day. So Ginger and Tea Lady Nat and some of my other soulmates like Solomon, I feel like we are like kindred souls. So I'm so grateful to see you. And if I recall, the last time I think I saw you in a live, Ginger, you had injured your foot or your ankle. So I pray that all is well. Yes. And we are going to still be integrating the energy from that eclipse because now we are vastly approaching the eclipse on the 21st. And one thing about eclipse energy, it's not easy. I've been feeling this eclipse energy since August, since 2 weeks before the eclipse hit. And if you're as cosmically in tune with everything like I am, soulmates, which I know you are because you're here, then you've been experiencing that too. And you're probably realizing that whatever is coming up now, you might have thought you've healed, or maybe you thought you addressed it. But healing is not a straight line, it happens in ebbs and flows, layers and levels. So maybe the same things came back, but they're not here to punish us, soulmates. Please believe none of this is punishment. This is giving us the opportunities and the chance now to utilize the wisdom that we've gained and to address these issues from a different lens, from a different place of healed. So, for example, if abandonment came up for you again, you're not being punished and you wasn't being punished. You're just being offered the chance to respond differently. And I say that as someone who struggled often with abandonment. I always had an abandonment trigger that for years I tried to ignore. I tried to point the blame at someone else and often tried to put that trigger on somebody else to fix until I took accountability for my healing and realized nobody can fix this wound except me. Now, when it does come back up again, I no longer get triggered. I can see it for what it is. See, now that we're in this eclipse, it's going to move us from one stage of growth to the next. So that's the test. That's the lesson that spirit is trying to get us to see right now. Did you learn the lesson? Because truth be told, soulmates, this is not the first time this has happened. See, this eclipse is just a continuation to the Virgo eclipse we had in March, March of this year, March of 2025. And I don't know if you all recall where you were then, but what did you have to release then? What ended for you and what began? See, the Virgo eclipse that we're about to experience on Sunday is just a continuation of that story. It's part two. But know that you are not the same person you were 6 months ago, which means that this time, soulmates, we get to choose differently. The shifts in energy cannot and will not. We can't return to that previous level of consciousness, Jenny, because once you awaken, you can no longer go back to sleep. You can't ignore it. You can't brush it under the rug, and it just evolves and evolves. And honestly, it almost scares me because my level of consciousness keeps elevating, and it almost feels lonely in a sense because it feels like sometimes I'm the only one in this level of consciousness, but I know I'm not. But sometimes it feels like around me, I'm the only one that's sitting in it. And I often wonder if my family and friends understand what it is that I'm experiencing, what this energy is feeling like for me. Because what I do is I'm the healing alchemist. So every time I go through something, I use that as fuel for my healing and for my work and for my purpose. Because in March, soulmates, I'll be honest with you, I had to walk away from a lot of things. I lost an apartment, I lost my car, but I didn't lose me. I continued to stay in alignment with spirit because I promised spirit that I will continue doing this work until I leave this earth. Because I know that's why my soul is here. So this eclipse that's coming up now on Sunday, this eclipse that I'm in now, I already know the worst is behind me. This is only allowing me now to prepare for what's next because I show spirit. I don't care about those things. As long as I have my health, my life, and my voice and my peace of mind, then I can get through this. This too shall pass. And the same for you, soulmates. Solomon says, Jenny, we've been told that ignorance is bliss. But that was such a lie, isn't it? Such a lie. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. There is no fear of the future when you're here. I can be Solomon because I'm creating a legacy, so I can't be afraid of the legacy that I'm living. That's almost like saying, don't be, we're afraid of death, but yet we're almost afraid to live. And for me, I've experienced my near death situation with the suicide attempt. I know what that feels like. So I don't ever want to go back there. Ever want to go back there. So the only thing I got to do now is just live. Live for this moment, this minute, this hour, this second, and just take it one moment at a time. And that's really what spirit is trying to show us. I know for me that has been the biggest lesson because everything I've gone through in 2025, I could not have done this had I not went through my first spiritual rebirth 6 years ago. So allow yourself grace, soulmates, as you go through this very pivotal chapter in our lives right now. And know that you do get the opportunity to choose differently. And we are also still in the season of Virgo. How many of my soulmates are Virgos out there? Okay, Virgos, Virgo love. I have two friends that are Virgos, love them to death. But one thing I know about a Virgo is a Virgo loves order. They love very much things to be in a certain way, a certain predicament. I know they appreciate honesty and devotion. And that's kind of the same energy of this Virgo eclipse. See, it's clearing clutter. And it's not just clearing clutter in our homes, but it's going to clear clutter in your habits, your routines, and your spending, especially your relationships. See, this eclipse is inviting you to create a rhythm that supports your whole entire self, your nervous system, your mind, your bodies, to build structures that feel safe, not suffocating, not like you're walking on eggshells, but a structure that feels solid and rooted in who you truly are. To choose and lead with integrity over perfectionism. That has been the biggest lesson, I think, over the last couple of months is integrity. Because one thing I come to learn is integrity is key for me. It's key in all of my relationships, platonic and business and romantic. And if I don't value and mimic those same values in myself, then I can't find it in anybody else. And I remember having a conversation with someone, actually, two people, two separate incidents last year, two separate relationships about the word integrity. One person claimed that they lived with integrity, but they never did. And then the other person wasn't fully sure what the word meant, or rather, they were, but I wasn't. And we got into an argument about it. So for me, integrity is key. And it's not about being perfect. It's just about leading with honesty, with truth, and with who you really are. And yes, the sun is setting here, soulmate. So if the lighting is looking weird, that is why. I'm a Virgo. Sometimes I wish I wasn't. Oh, Amanda, it is what it is. Hey, you could be a Scorpio and feel all of this that I feel on a regular basis. So be grateful because I love the groundedness of Virgo season. And to be honest, every season I feel the energy. And from the moment August 23rd hit, I have been very much serious about my stability and what I'm building and what I'm creating and what it is that I want for my Healing Out Loud brand and movement. So I've been very much methodical about what I want the rest of this year to look like, but as well as my 2026. Now, of course, things will shift and change, but this Virgo energy is calling me to get serious and get honest about it and let go of things, people, places, situations that are ultimately causing me chaos, distracting me. I'm leaking energy. And sometimes that happens, soulmates. So Virgo season, especially this eclipse, is going to help you see where are you leaking energy? Where is there something out of balance? And Virgo doesn't whisper. Okay, it's going to make it very real, make it honest, but you got to be true with yourself. So this eclipse is happening on the 21st or the 22nd, depending on where you are. But this is an eclipse that's going to happen at 29 degrees Virgo. This is the very last degree of the sign, which means that this is a karmic lesson attached to this energy. This is closing of a chapter. We won't experience an eclipse in this space at 29 degrees. We're here now. We get the opportunity to clean it up, clear it out, and get right with yourself, soulmates. You know what, Amanda? I can't even say that honestly that we have emotional strength. I can't say all Scorpios have emotional strength. I think a lot of Scorpios don't realize that that's our lesson is our emotional strength and learning how to turn our emotional instability into our emotional strength. And I'm saying that as someone who struggled half her life with her emotions. I'm not going to say half. I'm going to say most of my life, up until the last 6, 7 years, I struggled with my emotions. And it's not something that all Scorpios have, but it's also not something that just Scorpios have. Any sign, not just Virgo, Scorpio, doesn't matter your sign. If you are spiritually rooted and leading with integrity and understand emotional intelligence and who you are, then you too can have that same emotional strength. It's not just a Scorpio thing. The thing with the Scorpios is that we get deep. We get deep, we get down and dirty, and we get to the subterranean areas. So one thing about me when I heal and when I work on my clients, I help them go through that. I help them get deep because that's the only way you can truly grow. And I'm not afraid of that, which is why I put my information in a book. I'm not afraid of being deep. I'm not afraid of being honest about this and what it is that the collective is experiencing right now. So hopefully that answered your question. Hey, Evie, welcome, Queen. Thank you for joining. So going back to this Virgo eclipse, though, like I said, this is at the 29th degree. So this is a karmic lesson. Virgo is asking us again to clear out our houses, clear out our spirits. If your schedule is overwhelmed, clear the schedule. This is the opportunity for you to reset. And not only is it in Virgo eclipse, but we also have the South Node in Virgo. And so, what the South Node brings is release. The South represents things from the past, things that are ready to be let go. So, if you know now why your energy is up and down or why your emotions are up and down, if that's why, because you have a lot of energy right now that is calling for us to release, to let go. And it's not easy to let go, especially of things that you thought were secure, that you thought was stable. Hi, Monica. It's so good to see you. Beautiful. Thank you for joining. So, that South Node energy is basically spirit saying, let go, empty it out. It's time to make room for what's next, soulmates. And I don't know about you, soulmates, but I'm ready for something new, something greater. And if you've done this work, then you too are ready. And you've already been putting in the work. Want to just comment on YouTube. I see some comments coming in. Greetings. Hi from Romania. Oliver says, I bear witness that there is no God but God, and I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of God. Thank you for sharing, Oliver. You can believe in God, Muhammad, as long as you believe in something greater than yourself. I'm not here to debate what you believe in. But what I do know is Muhammad, God, spirit, universe is asking us now to release and to let go and to create room and space for what's next. If you've done the work during this year, you're ready for this. Even though it's not easy, because it is not easy. I'm not in an ideal, comfortable situation either, soulmates, but I'm ready for the release. And I'm not going to resist because soon as I try to resist and fight against spirit, that's when we get into trouble. That's when the chaos happens. When we go with the flow, when we surrender and detach and allow spirit to take the things away, to close the doors that need to be closed, and to make room for what's next, then that's when you know you've learned the lesson and that this final karmic chapter is closing. But some lessons will be heavier than others. Probably the heaviest of the lessons you may have experienced. And sometimes the progress may be slower, but that's because the soul work is deeper. And we have Saturn also affluence in this energy. You have a South Node, you have Virgo, and you have Saturn. And as you know, soulmate, Saturn wants us to be honest, to get serious, but we have to be patient and disciplined. So that's why you have to be able to release the heavy energy so that now you can sit and realize, what do I need to do next? What do I need to do for this next chapter, this next version of me? What do I want my new life to look like? The new relationship or the new job or my new story that I'm telling myself. It's time to be disciplined, committed, but most importantly, patient with yourself. Because you won't figure this all out overnight. You're not supposed to. That's why it's called life. One day at a time, levels and layers. And like I said before, new levels, new devils. Every time you've elevated, every time you've learned a lesson, well, guess what? If you're trying to elevate to the next level of consciousness, it never ends. Healing won't end. You will keep growing and growing. But every time you elevate, there is plenty of good to come with it. But spirit is going to make sure you're prepared for it. So that's Saturn. It's like our cosmic teacher telling us, if you want that next level, prove that you can hold it. Walk it like you talk it. Be emotionally, spiritually grounded, mentally grounded. I'm not talking about finances. I'm not talking about anything outside of us soulmates. I mean everything within us. Hey, Leanne. The comeback is always greater than the setback, Solomon. Always. Even in the setback itself. The fact that it's a setback gives you the opportunity to pause. Let me just go back, figure this out. I have to pivot like I had to do. I've had to make quite a few pivots this year, but I'm still persistent, still showing up, and I'm fully committed. So, this energy is going to ask you to prove that you can hold it. Oh, and don't forget, soulmates, that every outer planet is going retrograde right now. So, you have Pluto in retrograde, you have Neptune in retrograde. So, there's a lot of looking back at old patterns, old relationships, old money habits, and money cycles. And let's be honest, soulmates, cost of living is going up. Food is expensive. Everything is going up. We are in, and they don't want to admit it, but we are vastly approaching this recession because the inflation is astronomical, but our dollars are not stretching. See, Spirit is trying to get us to rethink the way we look at money and the way we look at material things because you have six, seven figures does not make you successful or profitable or any better than somebody who has less than. And just as much as they gain that, spirit can take it away because it's money, it's material things. All of that can be gone. But if you don't have your integrity, your values, and who you are as an individual in alignment with spirit, then none of that matters. All of it will crumble. All of the old money habits, all of the old cycles are being asked to be rewritten, to start fresh. It's asking, do I want to keep repeating this? Do I want to keep repeating these same lessons? I know some of these lessons I feel like I've mastered, right? But I also know that if I'm experiencing another lesson in a different format, same person, different me too, then that means I have to look at this differently. Now, how do I approach this? See, I apply the heal method. I have to stop, fall back, and sit with that. It's not about manifesting any more clutter because wherever your energy is, that's what you're going to manifest. So we got to choose and lead with integrity, choose our health, choose systems, people, environments that actually sustain us. There are three things I want you to think about this week, soulmates. And I know today is Tuesday, but we still have a whole another, what, 5, 6 days left in this week. No, not that many days. 5 days left because it's almost Wednesday. But this week, I want you to think about perfection is not the goal. Allow yourself patience. Progress matters more than the punishment. So don't force yourself to be perfect because that's only going to create more punishment, more chaos, more havoc. And just allow yourself that progress to take it day by day. And listen to your gut, soulmates. It's time for us to really listen to our bodies. Virgo is all about the digestive system. So your body knows what you can keep and what to compost and what to cut out. And that's energetically, that's financially, that's on a relationship level, that's on a physical level. If you're eating certain things that you know no longer agree with your body, it's time to cut it out. If your digestive system is not flowing correctly, that's a sign, that's a signal. And three, listen, or rather, handle your responsibilities. Because, see, true freedom doesn't come from avoidance. See, it comes from stewardship. And as much as we want to try to run and hide, we can't. We have to be true stewards to true children and beings of the divine, of the creator. Just as much as we hold spirit accountable to fulfilling our dreams and our wishes, we too have to do the same. Intention setting has been key. I love that, Solomon. Most definitely setting an intention, a daily intention, and trying to stay in that space. And actually, I want us to, if you're called to soulmates, if you want to journal, if you just want to share in the chat, I want to guide you through the heal method. And I kind of mentioned it last week, but again, this was the framework that I created to start helping people heal. And also, I will be introducing this and teaching this more and more on my Healing Out Loud series that I will be launching on my YouTube channel. See, this is a system that I designed to take us from heaviness to alignment in minutes so we don't feel so outside of ourselves. When we are in fight, flight, or fawn moment, when we're in that anxiety and your adrenaline is rushing, when you're feeling outside of yourself because somebody else may have triggered you or something may have triggered you, I want you to start by honoring, writing it down, speaking or expressing the feeling that is heavy in that moment. Don't push it down. Don't ignore it. Don't think you're going to come back to it. Acknowledge it and address it right there in the moment in real time. And express what it is that you're feeling. Don't hold in your truth. If there's something you need to say, you can say it with grace. Because, see, the more you hold it in, the worse it'll come out, the worse the delivery will be because you've been holding it in. Now you've created resentment. And now when it comes out, it's not going to come out. It's not going to be delivered correctly because the emotion just overcame you. So allow yourself the opportunity to express that. Even if you just write it down or express it with a trusted loved one. And actually, that's what my series is about. I allow people to write their own heal letters and they can choose to be anonymous, but if there's something that they need to share, I allow them space to share it. And I'll say they true for them and hold space for them so that they can see they're not alone. And start, after expressing it, aligning. Choose one small thing that you can do to bring yourself back into integrity, into your body, into who you are. What is your why for waking up every day? What is your reason for being here? Align with that truth. Align with the highest version of you because something and somebody will always test you and try to pull you out of that alignment. But we got to show spirit. I learned this lesson. I'm here for this release. I'm ready to fully embrace the healing. And then lead by naming one action you can take that day or the week that will move you toward where spirit is truly positioning you. Show spirit you're ready. Yes, bring me one step closer. Show me what I need to see to get to the next step and ask. Say it out loud. Say it proud. Say it in the shower. Say it when you're brushing your teeth. Let spirit know that you are seeking and you are ready to lead. You're ready to move to the next step. You're no longer stuck in that old version of you. Any comments or questions, soulmates? Drink some water. Just trying to see what anybody else commented on Facebook. And again, soulmates, if you are feeling called to donate, I invite you to do so. And if not, just keep showing up. If there's anything that is coming up for you right now that you're feeling called to share in the chat, please do so. Because I'm fully committed to creating a safe space for us soulmates. We're not alone in this, and we shouldn't have to. So if you are called, I would like to invite you, soulmates, to do a meditation with me. And if you're journaling, go ahead and continue to journal. But if not, I would love for you to do this meditation with me. And if you wrote anything down or if you reflected on something that came up, I want you to carry that energy with you into this meditation and think about the way that you honored, the truth that you expressed, and the shift that you chose, and the action that you're willing to claim. Because what you may have written or said out loud or said to yourself, we're going to take all of that and bring it into our body, from the mind into our hearts, and from words into energy. See, this is where release starts to turn into renewal. Lisa says, I'm wondering when he texts me to check on me if I should even respond or just ignore him. That's a good question, Lisa. And if I recall, this young man slammed the door in your face. And I can understand how that feels, because there's a part of you that still feels like there is hope for that other person, or you want to at least keep hope alive that this person will change and be what you would like for them to be. But if you even have to ask yourself when he texts you to check on you, then you already know what the answer is. If you even have to ask yourself, should you respond, if you should ignore, you know the answer. And it's not immediate, and it's not. And sometimes, Lisa, what I sometimes have to advise some of my clients and those that I work with is sometimes you have to shut out the noise, meaning if you have to block them or silent them or put them on mute to reclaim your energy and to reclaim your power, because right now, Spirit is trying to get you to focus on what Lisa needs and what Lisa deserves. See, the more he reaches out to you, the more he is trying to pull you back in. He's trying to utilize his energy to suck you back in. And you're on a path of evolving. And I'm not saying that this person can't be back in that evolution with you, but based on where you are, I know that you're in a transformation. You're in a point of the old you releasing and stepping into the new you. One leg in and one leg out. And I know that energy. I was there first 3, 4 months of the year. Actually, probably 5. And yep, just be patient. Stay true to your decision and stay strong. And your peace is priceless. That's the most valuable commodity that anybody can have right now, is our peace of mind. Because people are so triggered and bothered and outside of their own inner peace that they lash out, that they're arguing, that they're fighting, that they're killing, that they're screaming, that they're inflicting their pain and projecting it onto you because they can't find that inner peace within. And it's not our responsibility to find it for them, especially if it's at the detriment of your own peace. So allow yourself to think about the peace that Lisa has when this person isn't reaching out to her, or when Lisa puts all of the focus and time and the energy back onto herself. What kind of peace does that bring you? What does it feel like to have that type of peace? Sit with that. And whenever this person reaches out to you, what does your body feel like? Ask yourself, what am I feeling in this moment? Am I feeling anxious? Am I feeling anxiety? Am I feeling peace? And if it's not the peace that you deserve, then it's probably not the message that you need to respond to. That's it. And I think that's what this chapter is doing. And I promise you, Lisa, the more you focus on you, And the more you keep doing your healing work and the more you keep pouring into you, you're going to look up and the person that is meant to be in alignment with you will show up. They will appear when you're ready. And that's what I know for sure. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. So allow yourself time to heal and to get into a position to be able to receive the next teacher, the next partner. Well, I believe that that our partners are our teachers and sometimes they're students. So, but allow yourself time and just to focus on you. And every day you're going to have a different feeling. Hey, Jacqueline. Hello, beautiful. Allow yourself to feel that you will have ups and downs. That is the shift of the energy, love. But it's trying to get you to really be honest because it's easy to stay comfortable and it's easy to stay into situations and opportunities that are familiar. Change is not easy on anybody. And I've went through a lot. I've experienced a lot of change, not just in the last 6 years, just this year alone. But I just realized that everything I needed was within me and spirit had me. I'm always divinely guided and so are you. We're always protected. And you can't make a wrong decision. Remember, Lisa, everything is already written. The future Lisa, the future version of you is exactly in that peaceful state with the partner in the space and the place that is all about peace, giving you the love, the nourishment, the energy that you so desire and deserve. Think about the healed you 6 months from now and bring her into your spirit, bring her into your energy whenever you get that moment of weakness, because it'll happen. You're human. And we've all been there when we've had a breakup or a relationship shakeup that took us outside of ourselves, that made us lose ourselves or feel like we lost a version of us. But really, what it was just the old you that had to die with that relationship so the new you can be developed and fully brought into this world. So we thank them for that and we move forward with what's next for us. So I would want to invite you, especially you, Lisa, but all of my soulmates into this soul detox meditation because we need to detox our souls. We have experienced a lot of energy lately, soulmates. And I don't know about you, but I thoroughly need a soul detox. Just as much as, like I told you, the Virgo energy is about cleansing our bodies and our digestive system. Well, we also need to cleanse our souls, cleanse our energy. A slice of humble detox pie. Yes, 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 yes. So if you are comfortable, soulmates, I invite you to just close your eyes with me. Let's just take in this deep breath right now and let us allow the breath to flow in our chest, our throat down to our chest, into our esophagus, into our bellies. And with every deep breath, say to yourself, I call back my energy. And with every exhale, say, I release what can't grow with me. I see spirit clearing clutter from my path. And I want you to envision, I want you to see spirit handing you keys to the new chapter, to the new door that you're getting ready to open. Reminding you that what is meant for you is already rooted, it's already yours. All you got to do is let go of the old and claim the new. And no, you don't have to chase it because it's yours. All you have to do is just align with it. Align with that new you, your new chapter. What's behind that door? What will these new pages in your new chapter? What will they read? What will they say? How will you look and feel? Who will you be with? What will it smell like? Does it smell like sage, Palo Santo, sea, land, water, fresh grass? Allow yourself to see that new chapter. You being peaceful, being grounded and rooted in your authentic self, the version of you that spirit created you to be. and know that you've already aligned with what's next. You are already aligned with what's meant for you. The love, the abundance, the prosperity. It's all there for you. All you got to do is just take the keys from spirit, let go of the old door, and embrace and say, I'm ready for what's next. And I release what can grow with me. And let your soul feel that which is no longer needed. We thank it, we wish it well, but now the soul is ready for what's next, what's more clear, what's more aligned, what keeps me grounded in integrity and truth. And whenever you're ready, you can open up your eyes and bring yourself back to this space. And I hope that you take the energy from that meditation, and I will release the full meditation on Inside Time. I swear I'm going to release the full meditation, the full soul detox, because I want you to come back to this. I want you to revisit this. Anytime you feel clutter, anytime you feel heaviness, anytime it just feels like it's too much energy, it's too much going on outside of you. I want you to allow yourself to detox, allow your souls to feel and to free everything outside of you. And I want you to stay with that feeling of spaciousness for this moment. See, the body knows when releases happen, but spirit will always offer the next step. And one thing I know is just breathing in, taking deep, deep breaths all the way into your diaphragm can change your entire body. The way that your body feels, the heaviness will gradually start to release with each breath. I have been doing so much breath work lately. One of the tools that I picked up, and one of the tools that I also offer, is intense breath work, because I realize that breath is a form of energy. And if we do it right, it can restore our energy, it helps us release energy. But most importantly, it's a gift. We got the gift of breath, and that's powerful. So remind yourself of that feeling of spaciousness. And thanks, Spirit, for allowing you the opportunity to have breath and for offering you the next step. And most importantly, for being brave enough to show up for yourself and say, I'm ready to release that old version of me. That is nothing that is no longer rooted with who I am. Nothing that's not aligned with me. I thank you, Spirit, for revealing it so I can move on the path of alignment and peace. So if you want to share soulmates, I would love to know and ask you to take a moment and think about or journal about what spirit is positioning for you next. Now that this release has happened, now that this release is happening, because it already happened with the eclipse on the 7th. What is spirit positioning you for? What are you in a position to receive next? Yes, Nat. Breath work every day. Every day. I'm so grateful for the tool and have that breath work experience when I had my spiritual my what I call my spiritual detox 2 years ago in Sedona. One of the things I did was breath work, intense breath work, and I did it for almost an hour. And in the middle of the breathing, in the middle of the exercise, there was a visualization of me in the desert, just flowing and free. I never experienced anything like it. So that's how I know how powerful the breath is. Yes, Solomon, walking meditations. I love it. I wish I can walk and meditate. I have to be still and present in order for me to meditate. If I walk and meditate, I feel like I'm gonna hurt myself. I'm clumsy. That's just me. But I love that. I love sitting in nature. I love sitting in nature and meditating, looking at the trees, especially at the moon. It's so beautiful. Yes, Monica. Oh, Sedona is a magical vortex. And I feel like it's been calling me, saying it's time for a spiritual tune up. Yes, the prana. Oh, Solomon, thank you for sharing. I always ask about your mom. I'm grateful to hear that she had respite care and it was lovely. I'm grateful to hear that you're going through this with her, Solomon, because just as your mom is also going through this, you too are going through this. Because I know it's not easy being a caregiver, and I send you so much love and light. I won't ever experience that because my mom is deceased. So is my dad. But I hold space for people that have to care for their aging parents because it is still a gift, but it's also a period of transformation and transition for you. And I'm proud of you for sticking with it and being patient and being present with your mom because not a lot of people are able to do it. Lisa says it is so peaceful. I love to go fishing and just enjoy the fish in nature. I've heard fishing was so peaceful. I just like being by the water. So I get it. I get it. And I love that you have that. So whenever you're feeling outside of yourself, Lisa, and if you're feeling emotional or overwhelmed, I want you to bring that peace back to mind. I want you to close your eyes and reflect on the fishing and the feeling that you feel when you're out there listening to nature, hearing the river and the streams, because that's what I do. I always go back to that place in Sedona on those red rocks, sitting by the river, meditating. And that's the beautiful thing about having these gifts and having these tools is you can always bring that energy back. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Bless you, beautiful. Oh, Cynthia, condolences. So sorry to hear about that. And that has to be a transition period for you after caring for your dad. And now he's transitioned. So now you have to reposition yourself because that's probably been your life for I only know how long. Now here you are in a new chapter. What do you want your new chapter to look like, Cynthia? Because you deserve to live and to celebrate your father's life and all that you did while he was here. Alan says, I've been releasing doubt. Time to release the full me to my whole life. Yes, Alan, let's step into the whole life, the whole you, no matter what that looks like, and allow it to flow and allow it to change. Learning how to live life on life's terms is what I had to learn how to do 6 years ago after my attempt. I had to learn how to live life on life's terms. Most of us don't want that. Most of us try to control life. We want life to be controllable. But once you release that, you reclaim your peace. You realize I can't because life is going to happen whether I'm present or not. But if I can be present in life, then it can be that much better, is what I have to tell myself. Because again, you're talking to someone who did not see the value in life. And to be able to see that piece and to see that, no, the fact that I even have life today is a win. That says a lot. So definitely sending you so much love and life, Cynthia. And to anybody that is caring for a loved one or a family member or a friend that is close to you, and even though it can be overwhelming, have patience and grace with yourself and those around you because it's not easy for any of us right now. And some of us are more aware of it than others. Some of us are in a spiritual battle and we have no idea what we're dealing with or what we're experiencing. And I'm hearing more and more about people having I don't want to say mental breakdowns, but mental and emotional breakdowns because they don't realize that it's a breakthrough. Because see, everything is spiritual. Mental health is spiritual. There's a spiritual disconnection when bipolar disorder is diagnosed, or with even schizophrenia. I still believe that there is a spiritual disconnection happening. And no, the doctors and the psychologists don't go to that level. They can't because that's not what they were trained in. But what I've learned and what I've experienced in my 6 years of having to rebuild And creating heal is that there is a spiritual battle that all of us are enduring when anxiety and when depression and when the emotional roller coaster comes up. It's a spiritual battle. It's spirit trying to get us to see. I told you, emotions is one of our greatest gifts. So when our emotions are out of line, that's spirit trying to get us to pay attention, get quiet, get centered, and get closer to what it is spirit is trying to reveal to us. Because most often than not, it's something that you need to release, something that maybe you haven't accepted, something that maybe you don't want to admit. And so you try to outrun it. And spirit is just not gonna let us off the hook that easy anymore. Trust me, I tried it. Monica says, I am focusing on raising the vibration around me and in my neighborhood and community. Never giving up hope. I know, Monica, so am I. I'm constantly trying to reach out to different organizations and different communities here in the Chicago and the surrounding area because I realize that I'm a survivor on so many levels. I've dealt with domestic violence, physical violence, rape, suicide. But above anything, I'm a survivor and I have a survivor story to give to others to help them see that they too are survivors because we all are. And we all have a purpose in our struggles. And I would love to help people bring their purpose out, whatever that looks like, however that looks, because I strongly believe we do all have a purpose. Absolutely. It has been hard, Monica. You know why? Because spirit, spirit is not going to give us anything easy. Anything worth having is worth fighting for. Look what Jesus went through. And if Jesus can go through all of that and die on the cross for me, then the least I can do is share my truth and my story to help other people heal and to see that they are survivors and nothing that has happened to them makes them a victim or a circumstance of that reality because they are still survivors at the root of it. Because Spirit gave us everything we already needed to survive and to endure whatever life is going to throw our way. And in fact, it's the toughest lessons that you will ever experience that will show you just how strong you are and how much you already have within you. Thank you, Kristen. And you are helping me heal just as much as I'm helping you. No, Lisa, thank you. Don't be sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry for anything I've experienced. I'm not sorry for any of the breakdowns, any of the trauma, any of the heartache, any of the pain that's been inflicted on me. Because sticks and stones, sticks and stones, they can't break me. They can't break me. No matter how much they try. And oh, yes, they have tried. Because, like I told you, soulmates, new levels, new devils. But I refuse to let fear or the devil within get me or the devil outside of me. See, spirit will test us, Monica. Those light workers, those that are called to do this, those that are trying to make this world better, not only for themselves, but the collective, we are being tested. But that's because we have the biggest, biggest, boldest work to deliver and to give. So we got to be ready for this. 2025 has been preparing us for what's getting ready to unfold, and this year has not been like anything I've experienced. When I thought I went through my worst, more came about, and I was just able to see how much stronger I had grown. And you will too. If you haven't already, I'm sure you will soon. That's why I do these lives because we are going through powerful astrological shifts. Things that will never happen in our lifetimes again are happening now. So let's allow ourselves the space, patience, and grace to deal with it. And most importantly, be grateful that you all are aware of what's happening. There's so many people out in the world that have no idea what's going on. And when things happen in the media and when there's assassinations and all type of things that they try to inflict the fear on us, the propaganda, the media, they try to make you live in this world where you can't do anything because they make you feel like they have power and control over you and that you have to live in fear. But I refuse to live in fear. And I refuse to allow anybody to make me think that my voice or my presence is less than. We all have a voice and a purpose in this world because God gave us these lives to live. Spirit, universe, whatever you choose to believe in, you have that much right, if not more than a right as anybody else, to speak your truth, to stand your ground, and to lead with integrity and to give your gifts to the world. And I do mean give your gifts. If you are a writer, a creator, an artist, a dancer, whatever your gift is, if you're good with numbers, if you know how to design, don't allow the world to stifle your gifts because it will. It will make you feel like you're not even worthy or good enough. Oh my gosh, Monica, I love that. I'm going to volunteer teaching English to immigrants. Congratulations. You have nothing to be nervous about because guess what? You're the teacher, they're the students. Whatever you guide them in, they'll receive it. And that's just the fear. Because the fact that you're teaching it lets you know, Monica, you got everything you need. You are a teacher. Because I couldn't teach them English. That's not my gift. That is your gift. So you already got this, beautiful. You wouldn't have signed up for it if you wasn't ready. It is so painful to see others, so painful to see others suffer, Monica. It is. It is. Even when I see people suffering, I want so much to help them at the risk of them inflicting their pain and suffering onto me. I had to realize I can't allow that. Not when there are people out here that are willing to accept what it is that I offer in their time of need. And that's being an empath, us empaths, that's a hard lesson because I have a big heart and I want to give because I love unconditionally. Yet it makes me vulnerable because people prey off of that. They'll take my vulnerability for weakness. They'll tell me things and show me things that they think I want to see and what I want to hear. But then when the mask falls and when the truth is unveiled, I can see the truth. I'm a seer. And believe you me, what can't be seen by eye, spirit will reveal. One way or another, you will see the truth. The truth always exposes itself. So think about that, soulmates, as we're going through this very pivotal moment. Because even though the eclipse is on Sunday, I want you to think about what you want this next chapter to be like. Because essentially, this Virgo eclipse, which is again a partial solar eclipse, but it's also a new moon. We've had two Virgo new moons back to back. We had one in August, and now we're having one in September, just at the end of Virgo. So I don't know about you, soulmates, but I planted some seeds at the beginning of this Virgo season during the last new moon on the I want to say it was the 20, oh, I can't remember what day it was, but I planted, I want to say the 22nd or the 23rd, but I planted seeds. And I know that with this next new moon coming up on Sunday during this eclipse, it's a new beginning, it's a new chapter. I always work with the new moon cycles. Every new moon, I set new seeds. Every full moon, I try to do a release. So I always invite my clients, my soulmates, to journal, plant some seeds, write down what it is that you want to see for your next 6 months. Because whatever you set your intention towards now, and believe me, there's power in putting it in writing. There's power in saying it out loud. Spirit sees the words, spirit can feel the words. So write it out, meditate, speak, but create your new chapter. Think about the energy from the Soul Detox meditation. This is your new chapter. We can have a new chapter at any given time. But why not during this eclipse? Because it's given us the opportunity to. Because we were able to finally release and let go of what needed to be released last week. Plus, not to mention, we were in the 999 portal last week, September 9th, in the year of nine. And if you're familiar with numerology, soulmates, you know 9 is all about completions, all about completions, all about endings. Ironically enough, a relationship ended for me on the 999 portal. Ironically enough, the year before that, on the 888 portal, a new one ended, or a new one began the year before. See how everything comes back in cycles. It comes back in cycles to see, are you ready? Are you ready for what's next? Absolutely. So let's plant the seeds for our next 6 month cycle. Even if you can't even see 6 months out, just start with 1 month. Don't even put a lot of pressure on yourself. But soulmates, I want you to be intentional about the goals, the seeds that you're going to plant. That can be personal, professional, financial, relational, whatever it is. And dream big. Dream big. Don't cheat yourself. The bigger the vision, the bigger the dream, the more you get to receive. I dream big. Everything that I've manifested, everything that I write about, I always go aim high. Don't go low, aim high, because that's where my consciousness is going. I'm just going higher, all the way up, as far up as I can possibly go. I want to cultivate my Christ consciousness, meaning I give unconditionally. I love people freely. Not saying I'm Christ, but my Christ like consciousness, because I truly believe that we can all embody that. And it takes a lot of practice, a lot of spiritual tests, as I'm starting to experience. Allison says, my mom's sitting right now. She has been so toxic and yet kind in my early life. I have hugely shifting feelings. I don't want to accept toxicity in my life anymore. Thank you, Allison. Firstly, thank you for showing up. Oh, thank you, Vivish, for showing up as well and for joining my first session. But Allison, thank you for being present, being honest, and sharing your truth. And that's a very, very powerful chapter that you're in, because your mom is dying. And I don't know what that's like for her. I don't know if she's feeling remorseful, if she's making peace or amends with you for the toxicity. But either way, even if she isn't, Allison, I want to invite you to start creating that peace for yourself. No amends. And you know what, Allison? You may not get the amends, but I don't want that to affect who you are in your chapter and your growth. Because I'll tell you, when my dad died in 2014, he and I were not communicating. And I was angry with him for a very long time. I was angry because he wasn't present in my life. And then I was even angrier that I never had the opportunity to express to him how I felt prior to him dying. And then I felt guilt. I felt anger and I felt guilt on top of the grief of him dying. So I don't want you to have to experience that, because that's a very heavy place to be in and you don't deserve that. My father couldn't make amends with me either in this lifetime, but I was grateful enough to connect with him in the afterlife, and he has expressed amends. And he shows up for me now more than ever, more than he could ever do in this lifetime. And maybe that's what your mom has to experience, because everybody's souls have different journeys, different lives, different stories. And maybe your mom couldn't get it right in this lifetime, but maybe her soul has another lesson to learn in the next chapter. But for you, beautiful, I want you to make amends with the toxicity. And if you want to reach out to me, I would love to help you with that, because grief is one can of worms in its own. But when you are grieving somebody that you didn't have the best relationship with, it makes it even harder and even more confusing. So I allow yourself patience, especially with your mom as she's on her last days, because I'm sure there's a piece of her that is probably experiencing some form of regret, maybe some form of shoulda, coulda, woulda. But there's that pride and that ego, because we all have it. It won't allow her to be honest and to speak her truth. And maybe she still will. Maybe when she's taking her last breath, she may, she may just have that realization and have that moment with you. So I'm grateful that you are here today and you're able to share that. And to the young man on my YouTube, He states, girl, you got two big problems. I wouldn't say she has two big problems. She doesn't have two big problems. What she has is two chapters ahead of her to heal and to evolve, because it's not a problem. Her mom dying is not a problem. And her mom's toxicity is definitely not her problem. That's her mom's cross to bear. Allison gets to free herself, and she gets to do it now. See, her mom can do it too if she is willing to admit that and take accountability. But we can't. Oftentimes, we want our parents to be something that they're just not able to be because they're human, just like us. And I used to think for years, even as an adult, I figured the older we got, the more mature we would get, the more we would figure it out, the more sense we would come to. But that's not true, as I learned. Age is truly nothing but a number. It does not make you more wiser. It does not make you more stronger unless you've truly done the work. Solomon says, I came to a realization that every day with my mom is a blessing. It is, Solomon. It is such a blessing. And that's why I applaud you and I send so much love and light to you as you get to spend that time with your mom, even as she's going through her period of recovery. You get to hold space for her and be there for her. And that is a gift. It truly is a gift, because I think had I known my father was sick and dying, he died in his sleep. I would have loved to have been there to hold his hand or take him to his treatments. And to this day, I don't know what he died from, but I do know he was an alcoholic. So probably cirrhosis, cancer. I don't know. But if I had the chance to, I absolutely would have been there for him. Yes, Monica, and celebrate that. That is a blessing. It is. We take the people in our lives for granted. Even as adults, we take the people around us for granted, but we don't realize how much of blessings people really are to us, especially if we don't look for the good. And if we always just focus on the negative, on the parts of them that we don't like or that we don't agree with, then we'll always be in that constant state of not appreciating the people around us and not expressing gratitude for the lessons, for the laughs, for the even the toxic energy that they may have brought us. That was still a lesson that we learned from that person. Be grateful for it, because that's what I choose to do. I no longer want to hold animosity or negative energy towards anybody that has ever harmed me or hurt me. I have had to truly learn the power of forgiveness, and that has been a peace for me. My parents got stuck around 13 emotionally and stayed there most of their lives. Alan, our parents grew up in a different time. I know mine did. And coming from an African American family, the things that I'm doing and the things that I talk about in my healing, see, I'm doing this for my ancestors, for my parents that couldn't do it, and I'm doing it for my generations to come. So that when my grandchildren, great grandchildren, great great grandchildren come into this world, I will have done this work so that they can have a safer world where they can be themselves, where they don't have to hide their pain, where they can be emotionally mature and emotionally grounded, because I have created this legacy and this blueprint to teach them this path. So we want to thank our parents for not being emotionally mature enough, but they did the best that they could with the times that they had. And I just wish them love and light. And I don't know if some of you believe in mediumship, but I do know that there are mediums here on Insight Timer. And if you ever get called, for those that may have experienced loved ones that transition and you didn't get that closure, have a mediumship. I did. I had a session and I was able to connect with my mother and my father, my cousin, and a lot of family members on the other side. And that keeps me rooted in doing this work, because I know I got support on all levels, on the other side, on this side, my soulmates. And that's why we just express gratitude for the lessons, for the heartache, for the pain, for the things that they didn't give us. Because I too will probably not give my son everything that he needs. But that's part of the growing, right? My parents can give me everything I needed emotionally. I had to figure it out. My mom died when I was 16 and I had to learn this lesson, the the abandonment lesson, the abandonment wound that was exposed as a result of that pivotal moment over 20 some years ago. Took me until I was 40 to finally face that wound. But I thank my parents because without it, I wouldn't be here. Now, did my mom want to die? Of course, I know she didn't. But that created a whole different level of healing that I had yet to even experience or witness or even knew existed because my mother didn't have to go through it. She didn't lose her mom at a young age like I did. So let's thank them, Alan. Hi, Sam. Oh, Alan, I love that you've gotten so much closure. You're a medium. I love that. And yes, Monica, Gloria is the best. I've had a couple of sessions with Gloria, and I love that she's been able to connect with my family, even in-laws. She's amazing. And anybody that has spiritual gifts, we're amazing. And it doesn't have to be mediumship because we all have them. So allow this energy that we're going through now, this period during the eclipse, even after the eclipse, because you will still feel that energy. It's very much still potent. And remember, nothing happens overnight. She connected with my dad twice. I love that. So as you're sitting with this tonight, and when you leave my live today, I want you to continue to think about what spirit is positioning next for you. Because now that you've released and now that we have reflected, we can begin to seal it in our truth. And one of the things I love to do is affirmations. I love to anchor the energy with an affirmation, not just in thought, but in vibration, in sound, and in our presence. So if you are invited to Soulmates, I invite you to say this 3 times with me out loud. I trust what's unfolding. I honor what's left, and I'm ready to step into what's aligned. I trust what's unfolding. I honor what's left, and I'm ready to step into what's aligned. I trust what's unfolding. I honor what's left, and I'm ready to step into what's aligned. And I want to leave you with this, soulmates, before we conclude that remember, healing is not a one time breakthrough. New levels, new devils, new chapters, new paths of healing. Because, see, healing is a rhythm, it's always a return, and it will happen in layers. So, yes, sometimes you will revisit old wounds, except now you have new clarity, new wisdom. You're a new version. You are not the same person that you were on 1/1/25. Lord knows I'm not, because of everything that we've endured so far this year has made us be different people, has required our souls to evolve, our minds to shift so that we can be in a better state today, so that by the time this year ends, we can be at peace with knowing that everything that I've endured and everything that I've lost in this year was happening for my greatest and best good. And I'm grateful for the lessons and I'm grateful for who I am today. What a year. I told you, soulmates, this is going to be like the roller coaster ride of your life. By the time this year ends, you're going to feel like your hair is all over your head. You're going to feel out of balance because this year has really took us for a ride. Yes, right? So just allow yourself to reflect on the wisdom that you gain and allow the healing and the lessons to continue to unfold in levels. Because with each step, you rise into clarity, into strength, and most importantly, leadership. Self leadership for yourself, for your healing, for your voice, for reclaiming back your power. That's beautiful. And please believe you don't have to wait until you're in a crisis to heal. In fact, if you prepare yourself before the crises, when the crisis hits, it's not a crisis because you are already prepared mentally, spiritually, emotionally. You can start beginning now, one breath, one step, and one truth at a time. That's the heartbeat of what Healing Out Loud is. And that's why I decided to create the weekly series, Healing Out Loud, the series, soulmates. For those that don't No, I have decided to create my own series titled Healing Out Loud because I want to allow my soulmates the opportunity to send in letters. They can be anonymous. You can identify yourself, and I will hold space for you. I will read it out loud because there is power in speaking it and saying it out loud. And even if you yourself can't say it, I can hold space for you. And it'll be a weekly rhythm of collective healing because I know that when one of us heals, oh, we all heal. So if I read a letter on behalf of another individual, somebody else is going to see that and receive that healing because I keep telling you, soulmates, we are not in this alone. We are more than likely healing from the same things, the same triggers, the same wounds, the same struggles, abandonment, our voice, our power, our stability, our foundations. So I'm creating this series to allow us the opportunity to get more deeper and talk about the things that maybe Inside Timer won't allow us to. I know it's kind of censored, but also allow my soulmates outside of Inside Timer to be able to heal as well, because we all deserve a space to heal. Yes, yes, Nina, I will recite those affirmations, and if you want, I will put them in the chats and the comments for you. I trust what's unfolding. I feel like it's in. Okay, that's weird. I don't know why it's not letting me hit enter. Inside Timer's giving me a hard time, but I definitely put it in the chat. But what it is I trust what's unfolding. I honor what's left. I'm ready to step into what's aligned. Oh, thank you, April. I appreciate that. I'm in that in between period because just last week it felt like it was fall. Now it's summer again. So I'm just like, hey, spirit, you dressing me today. And I can also send that affirmation to you. I don't know why Inside Timer won't let me hit enter because I definitely put it in the chat. See, this is why I have to do my Healing Out Loud series outside of Inside Timer. Sometimes they give me a hard time. I don't know why. But please do so, soulmates. If you're not following me on my YouTube, you can subscribe so that you can be in the know of when my episodes will be releasing. I'm in the process now of accepting letters. So if you are feeling called to submit a letter, you can submit them to Healing Out Loud Series at gmail.com. And I'm truly responding to each and every one of these letters. And I respond with spirit, with truth, and with purpose and space because I need us to know we are not carrying it alone. I would have loved to have had a space like this 6 years ago when I was suffering in silence. And because I didn't have that, I am going to create it because I know that there are others suffering in silence. And if it's not a mental health problem, it's something else. People suffering with abuse, trauma, alcoholism, drug addiction, all types of things. But at the end of it is a call to release and heal so that we can step into alignment. So if you are called to do so, soulmates, please feel free to send it in and subscribe to KS Empowerment on YouTube so that you can see when I do release these weekly episodes so that you too can continue the healing with us. Because, like I said, this is a collective healing. When we heal, one of us heals, we all heal. The energy is felt collectively. And I don't care what anybody says. I can be sitting right here in the state of Illinois, and my healing is going to touch Monica in Texas or Ginger in New Mexico or wherever we are, soulmates, because that is how powerful healing energy is. And I don't know about you, soulmates, but we need more healing and we need more love and we need it now because things have gotten way out of hand. Way, they were already bad. And now I just knew last November during the election, everything was happening for a reason. Everything was happening for us. And if what's not happening now is not enough to shake you and wake you up, soulmates, then I don't know what it will take. But for you and for me anyway, it's already taken enough out of me to realize that something has to change. And my gift to the collective in trying to change this is by teaching us how to heal and let go of the jealousy, the trauma, the hatred, because this is ridiculous. There is no reason why we should be trying to kill somebody because of their freedom of speech and because how they choose to live and move. That's ridiculous. God gave us lives for a reason, to live them the way we are supposed to be called to live it, not according to what society said or what somebody else said. So that's why Healing Out Loud, the series, is being birthed into this world. And this is just one piece of the movement, Soulmates, because this Healing Out Loud, healing movement is bigger than us. So if we can't stop healing the hatred now, then it's only going to get worse. Yes, Monica, still can't believe we're here. It's almost like we're digressing, right? It's like we've come so far as a people, but then it's like we're digressing. Why do you think that is, soulmates? What did I tell you? Spirit will keep bringing the same lessons over and over, but you get the opportunity to apply new wisdom. So I'm not going to suffer in silence. I'm not going to feed into the propaganda, to the media. I don't look at the news except when I'm at the gym, and that's just limited because I refuse to allow them to taint what I know Spirit is calling me to do. When I know what the truth is, I don't need them to tell me. See, they're going to keep me in fear, and I'm living in love and light. Hi, Amanda. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Not even a digression, I should say a regression. It's like we're regressing, we're going backwards. That's what it feels like the world is going through. And I am just not going to allow it. I'm not going to sit here and allow it. Not as long as I'm living and breathing. And that's my gift. That is what Spirit has called me here to do. And I won't stop it until Spirit calls me to the next chapter, to the next life. When the light shines brighter, the darkness and illusions will be coming out. Yes, Jess, because we have to expose it. I actually said that last week. There is light at the end of the shadow. Oh, but the shadows will be exposed. Everything is getting exposed. Everything. And it's going to continue to be exposed. And to be honest, for the next 6, 7 months, soulmates, don't be surprised at what else is exposed, what else gets revealed in the world, especially even during this eclipse. I wouldn't be surprised if something profound happens again this weekend that will shift the collective, that will shift our mindsets and our hearts and the way that we live and interact. And also, soulmates, for those that don't know, I did write a book titled Healing Out Loud, which is my journey of how I survived suicide. But most importantly, it's about the path of healing and what it woke up in me so I can wake up in others. Because it was the healing path that woke in this version of me. It was the healing that helped me step into alignment with what Spirit was calling me to do all along. So if you are interested, you can buy that. You can visit my website. It's also available on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Books a Million, basically any online platform where books are sold. And again, as always, soulmates, thank you for showing up. I invite those that are interested to donate. If not, keep coming back. Please know that all of your donations, they allow me to continue to do this work, to continue to pour into others, to continue to be an advocate for mental and emotional wellness, suicide advocate, domestic violence advocate, advocate for fairness and honesty and truth for all of us. I carry my message everywhere: companies, campuses, communities, because silence has lived for far too long. And of course, I offer one on one work for those that are ready to reclaim their power and their purpose and their voice back. Let's figure out what this next chapter is going to look like for you. And if you are ready to embrace this and open up that door and take the keys from Spirit, then please reach out, soulmates. And you can always stay connected to me on all my socials, because I think I'm on all of them. I'm on Instagram and Threads that I am Keana Shatteen, Facebook and TikTok, as well as at KS Empowerment. because I told you before, soulmates, this work started on Inside Timer, but this work is needed outside of this space. And I'm grateful for my Inside Timer family because we are the ones that have already started this work. And we're getting closer and closer to this work. And we're getting closer to our alignment. Oh, thank you, Frank, so much for your generous donation. Yes, chaos, it followed me where I go and everything is revealed. Painful as real, but it's a relief. Frank, you're not alone, my friend. I'm right there with you. It is a relief. And I think that's the lesson for a lot of us is that when we go through that pain and when you get to the other side, the relief, the release, the power, the peace of mind you get and you receive. And you can sit back and say, Spirit, I understand now why this is happening. If not me, then who? Because I'm not a victim and I no longer ask, why me? I say, why not me? What's next? What is this revealing to me? What is this showing me? And most importantly, how do I learn to move from it? Oh, thank you, Silverback. Thank you. It's so good to see you. First of all, soulmates, thank y'all, all 160 of you meditators, for joining. You could have been anywhere tonight, but you chose to be here with me, healing. You showed up for yourself and everybody else that's on this live because there is power when we are healing as a collective. The energy right now is so profound. I'm getting chills. Like it's warm, but I have chills right now because when I see the hearts, the love, the support, you all give me the fuel to keep doing what I'm doing. Thank you, Cynthia. You are a blessing, and thank you for joining. I appreciate you. I appreciate you all. Thank you, soulmates. And remember, soulmates, anytime you need to reach out, anytime you donate, everything you do helps me expand Healing Out Loud. It funds the spaces, the trainings, and the resources that I will be giving to more people. But I want you to remember, before I conclude, before I wrap this up, that what fell away is not failure. It's not failure, soulmates. See, that was just spirit clearing what can no longer carry your calling. And eclipses are not here to punish us, but they come to position us. So think about where you were in March when that Virgo eclipse hit. And think about where you'll be now, where you already are. Think about how much wisdom you gained, how much strength, how much emotional clarity. And maybe it's feeling chaotic right now. But please know you are in the beginning of the unlearning because once you go through the chaos, that's when the clarity gets revealed. And please know that whatever is left is meant to be. Trust what's left because what's left is strong enough to walk with you into your next season. Anything that's built on a solid foundation is made to last. But if our foundations are not right, what did I say? So amazing. Anything not built on a solid foundation is crumbling this year. I said that on New Year's Eve, 12/31/24. And we are starting to see the crumbling. We're seeing everything fall. We're seeing where the cracks are. The cracks are exposing, but there's light coming through those cracks. So once we allow the light to shine through, now we can get this foundation intact. Let's get these foundations in order, soulmates. So let's continue to walk into this new season, into this next chapter with our heads held high. Let us rise together, continue to live one day at a time. Keep it simple, one step, one breath, one moment. But most importantly, soulmates, keep healing out loud, keep showing up for yourself, keep standing in your God given power because you are here for a reason and you all matter, soulmates. Hi, Vanessa on YouTube. I don't know when you joined, but thank you. I just saw you said I'm in time. And I'm actually concluding, but if you're not following me already, please do so because I will be doing another live next week for my Inside Timer family. I did schedule another live for next Tuesday because like I told you all, we are healing through the astrology. And guess what? We have Mars moving into Scorpio right after the eclipse. And as you know, anything in Scorpio is going to be very transformational because Scorpio is all about transformations and rebirths. And Mars is actually a co ruling planet of Scorpio. So Mars is comfortable in Scorpio. So that's going to bring about a different type of energy, a different type of fuel. But it's all happening for us, happening in a good way because Mars is a fire. It's, it's mostly related to fire signs like Aries, but it was also the co ruling sign of Scorpio. So the energy is very much bold and it can be a little impatient, but we're going to work through this energy together, soulmates, so we can heal through this because everything happens for us. And we are also still in the year of Aquarius. We'll be here until 2044. So just we've already seen just in 1 year what the year of Aquarius is going to look like. When it shifted last November, I told you this world was never going to be the same, and it's not supposed to be. So we will continue to talk about everything that is shifting astrologically because it is affecting us on a personal, spiritual, mental, and emotional level, whether you believe it or not. And if you don't believe in astrology, soulmate, believe in something because this energy is not coming from anywhere. It's coming from spirit. Spirit created the planets, spirit created the stars and the moon, just like spirit is creating all of the energy and everything that is unfolding for us right now. So stay locked in. I will be doing that live next week because I want you to start to reflect on where you are and what this energy may bring up for you. Even if you're not Scorpio and if Mars is not a planet that is strong in your chart, you still gonna feel it because you cannot feel this energy. If you're alive, you're going to experience it, whether you want to or not. But I would invite you to experience it with me and to go with the flow with spirit so that we're not resisting it. It doesn't feel as chaotic when we know what this energy is preparing us for. So, thank you again to all of my soulmates, to those on YouTube. I will see you guys next time. And thank you to all of my